urged people who didn't have to come to work this morning to stay home. Many obliged or headed to the beach, where warnings were issued not to go into the water because of the risk of raw sewage.
They're telling us that we can't go into the water, not even our feet.
Why not?
Because it's unsafe. And they're actually waiting for
the health department
to come out and to actually test the water.
Speaking of water, it is safe to drink if you can get it. Taps stayed dry at many high-rise buildings, forcing people to crowd grocery stores.
We had to stay in line about 10 minutes, and we bought New York Times, water, and batteries so we can find out what's going on and how long our electricity will be off.
Overnight, firefighters responded to 60 fires, many of them caused by candles. One firefighter suffered serious injuries, and a 40-year-old man died of a heart attack. But looting was kept to a minimum, less than 24 arrests, a far cry from the 3,000 arrested in the blackout of 1977.
In short, New Yorkers showed that the city that burned in the 1970s when facing similar circumstances is now a very different place. A city that has the resiliency to conquer adversity, not succumb to it like we did back then.
As people focused on getting the basics back, Governor Pataki wanted to know why they had to lose them in the first place. There were promises after the blackout of 1965 and 77.
We were told then that the system had been changed and safeguards put in place where we wouldn't have a regional blackout. We had the largest ever, 50 million people from the Midwest through Ontario and down through the Northeast.
5 states and northeastern Canada went dark within a matter of minutes.
The delivery system is old and antiquated, and I think this is an indication of the fact that we need to modernize the electricity grid.
Back here now, where a lot of people are telling us that they are walking outside simply because they don't have power back in their apartments. Certainly a greater concern as darkness falls. The police department promising that they will maintain complete safety for the people of New York City as they did last night. Live from the Upper West Side, Sarah Wallace, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Now we have seen the pictures. Now here's the latest numbers. Con Edison tells us about 2 million of its 3 million customers are again back online. 1/3 of its customers are still without power. On Long Island, LIPA is making progress. About 129,000 of its 1.1 million customers are still in the dark. The utility expects to have all of its customers back with power later this evening. In New Jersey, PSE&G says that 99% of its customers are back online after having nearly 1 million people without power. And Connecticut Power and Light hopes to have power back on to all of its customers by tonight. Just under 22,000 are still in the dark at this hour. Now, the city remains under a state of emergency, and people are trying to cope any way they possibly can. There was some welcome relief in Stuyvesant Town this afternoon. As you can see here, faucets attached to hydrants that allowed people to finally get some fresh water. People are also making the best of the situation, but there are new problems cropping up. Dave Evans joins us from City Hall, live now with the New York City as it went into crisis mode. Dave?
Well, Tim, there continue to be 2 problems right now at 2 different wastewater treatment facilities. The one on 13th Street at the East River, and then also the Red Hook facility, which is actually in the Navy Yard in Brooklyn. Because of the power problems at these 2 different wastewater treatment plants, only about 80% of the city's wastewater, the sewer water, is being treated. The other 20% has to be basically dumped into the East River and also New York Harbor. So the advice is right now, do not swim in city beaches, and as always, do not eat fish out of the East River.
City beaches were supposed to be closed today due to pollution. Raw sewage came from this plant along the East River at 13th Street. It's an intake station for everyone along the east side of Manhattan from 96th Street south. Usually it sends sewer water south to Brooklyn, but couldn't yesterday.
Due to the power failure, those pumps at East 13th Street couldn't take the waste to the Brooklyn facilities, so we had a direct sewage discharge into the East River.
Along the East River, fishing for striped bass and bluefish continued without much care. For fishermen here, it was hot inside their apartments on the Lower East Side, and no one heard a thing about the sewage.
I feel that if you got fish around here, maybe the water is not as polluted as people would think.
It's polluted today.
To me, it's always been polluted. So
I mean extra today because of the sewage.
Okay. To me, it won't make no difference because I won't eat the fish.
Farther south, beachgoers either didn't get the health warnings or ignored them. It was a little confusing. City beaches closed with state beaches open. The governor even urged New Yorkers to go for a swim. City health officials are concerned.
It's very important that people understand that closing the beaches is something that's done because there may be raw sewage in the beaches, and we don't want people to get sick from swimming in raw sewage.
Now, a few minutes ago, I spoke with DEP Commissioner Chris Ward, and he told me that he hears that electricity may be back on at the Red Hook facility. The homes right around that facility, close to Brooklyn Navy Yard, we hear have electricity now, and so he thinks that the problem may be fixed in Brooklyn, but I asked him about the 13th Street facility. He says he still hears that electricity is out, and so they are continuing to have problems on treating the wastewater treatment plant. Again, 80% is being handled right now, but 20% being dumped into the East River and also New York Harbor. So the best advice is do not swim in city beaches. That's the latest from City Hall. Dave Evans, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Dave. Getting around remains the biggest challenge. The subways came to a screeching halt when the power went out, and many of them are still sitting on the tracks. Jeff Rawson joins us from the Upper West Side with that part of the story. Jeff.
And Ross, sometimes a picture says it all. It certainly does here tonight. Look at this. Trains stuck in the station. Some of them stuck in the tunnels. Dark cars inside. Not a person to be found during the rush hour. And we have learned tonight 20 subway stations in New York City are now dealing with flooding problems. And so it is unclear tonight when the subways will be running.
At the beginning, I had no idea how to walk from Queens to the city, but people have been very helpful. I mean, point their fingers, almost writing down a map for me.
Think you have subway problems? This guy's from the far end of Queens trying to visit his sick mother in Manhattan.
She suffered an aneurysm, and I had to be there for her.
Subway cars are stuck all over the city. We found this one in a tunnel. This one is over Queens Boulevard. Welcome to day 2. No subways for the evening rush.
They told me I was supposed to get the number 19 bus, and there's no bus. So I walk from the Charbel to Hunters Point. It's outrageous.
Well, how's this for outrageous? About this time yesterday, passengers were being rescued off of trains walking across the tracks. All right, take this in. 96th and Broadway. This is a hub. It's a weekday around 11 a.m. Not a soul down here. Now, conductors just sit with the whole system down. There's not much to do. How long have you been waiting to move your train?
22 hours.
You've been on the job?
Yeah.
Getting the subways running takes more than just the power coming on. Right now, parts of the system have power, but to restore service, everything must be back. Every inch of track electrified. Even then, New York City Transit says it'll take at least 6 more hours to check switches and move trains.
No big whoop. You get over it. You learn to walk.
While subway service is out, we understand city buses are running for free, so you don't have to pay. But the problem is, so many people from the subway system are pouring onto those buses, it's creating problems. We are following that story, and we will show you those interesting pictures tonight at Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. Live tonight, the Upper West Side with the dark trains. Jeff Rawson, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Jeff. Boy, that's a sight you do not see.
It's a totally different city. As I was walking to work, people were smiling and courteous. People who would normally be on the subway sweating and pushy, and they were up on the street in the sunshine. It was very nice.
And even though it's hot outside, they're dealing with that today as well. So they're making the best of this bad situation.
It's a different city.
Very much so.
They better have stuff ready to go by tomorrow.
Well, they're trying. Because getting around the city is only half the battle. There are thousands of commuters stuck in the chaos trying to get out of the city. Marcus Solis is live now at Grand Central Terminal. Marcus.
And Tim, this morning it was a lot of folks who were stuck in the city overnight, folks who live in the suburbs who were trying to get home. Many of them eventually did. What we're seeing now is a lot of people who live in the city, and they're trying to leave as they're trying to get out of their hot apartments and go visit relatives or friends who live in the suburbs. But Grand Central, normally a beehive of activity, folks just sitting around, sweating, waiting, the goal to get off the island of Manhattan. They're running out of town, or trying to anyway. No one wants to miss the few trains leaving Grand Central Terminal. It has not been easy. For those hoping to make it back to the suburbs, the day after has been marked by sweltering heat and spotty service on the commuter rail lines.
Bit of a nightmare coming in, so I decided to stay at a friend's house last night. So it was long. It was long, but, you know, we're here hoping that we're going to get on the train to Stamford now.
Whether it's Grand Central or Penn Station, commuters have been trying to get any information they can. Many were stranded overnight. The steps of the main post office building served as not-so-comfortable granite mattresses. There's still no Long Island Railroad service out of Penn Station, but there are buses taking people to Jamaica Station.
Go to Jamaica, get another bus, get home.
What are you looking forward to the most?
Getting a shower. Yeah, shower and seeing my son.
Then there are those random acts of kindness. The Farr family is from far away, Tennessee. Last night they were sleeping outside of Grand Central when someone offered them a hotel room next door.
And this guy just came right out of nowhere, and handed us this Hyatt ticket. Said, go get those kids out of the city and get them into a hotel room. So we at least got them showers and everything and a little bit of food.
Nice deed right there. She asked the gentleman his name, wouldn't give it to her. She has no idea who the person was, but she certainly is thankful. For folks who are looking to take trains, limited service across the board on New Jersey Transit, on Amtrak, Long Island Railroad, and Metro North. Half service is the only one that's running a regular schedule at this point. We're live at Grand Central. Marcus Solis, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Marcus, thank you. The area's 3 major airports are also experiencing major delays and certainly cancellations this evening. LaGuardia and Kennedy airports are still operating on emergency power. There's heavy traffic leading to the airports as well. Travelers are urged to contact their airline before leaving for the airports.
Tim, Chris Olertz from Con Edison is on the line right now. Chris, are you there?
Here, Roz.
Okay, first question. What about Queens and what about Brooklyn? I personally have talked to some people in those boroughs, and they think you have forgotten about them.
Con Edison is definitely not forgotten about Queens and Brooklyn. We're addressing getting the power back to them. We have more than half of all the customers in Queens and Brooklyn back. System-wide, for the 5 boroughs and in Westchester County, we have more than 2 million customers returned. We have about 1 million to get back. We have most of Westchester back, almost all of Staten Island, over 90% of Staten Island, and we are working very vigorously to get Brooklyn and Queens and Manhattan and the Bronx back. Some of the first returned customers were in the southeast Bronx.
Chris, are you also having to utilize the rolling blackout method in bringing power back, where you take some away from some of the customers so that you can bring everyone back up?
We did, Tim, have to do that earlier in the day at the direction of the New York Independent System Operator, known as NISO, which controls the power moving around the whole state of New York.
Chris,
but we have not had to do that in several hours.
Chris, if you were a betting man, would you say that probably power will be restored by midnight tonight, sometime tomorrow morning? Give the people a little hope here.
Well, there's lots of hope. We just do not have a timetable for our customers' return, for all of our customers' return.
All right, sir.
2/3 of them are there.
All right, but there are still, as you know, an awful lot of people without.
Of course, and we want to get them back.
And we'll be talking to you throughout this evening and on into tomorrow. Thank you, Chris Olert with Con Ed.
In the last 24 hours, as you've seen us, or even if you haven't seen us, we can certainly tell you that we have relied heavily on Newscopter 7. High above us, Shannon Sohn is in the seat at this point. Shannon, bring us up to date.
Well, what we're doing now, Tim, is checking things out in New Jersey. Now, one of the things I want to tell you about is that a lot of people were told, don't come to work today if you can avoid it. And of course, we've all been hearing that. One of the things that we noticed earlier on today was that the Garden State Parkway southbound was just jam-packed. In fact, a friend of John Del Giorno's called us and let us know that it was backed up from about exit 135. She was sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic heading down the shore. That is in Union. So she had quite a ways to go with those bumper-to-bumper delays. Now what you are looking at on the left side of your screen is the Garden State Parkway, but heading in the opposite direction. This is all northbound traffic. Now, when we first came on the air, we were up by Route 280, and Captain Arthur Anderson is taking us south down towards the Union tolls, and it is just tons and tons of volume. It appears that everyone is returning from their trip to the shore, and this is what you are stuck with if you are sitting in the Garden State Parkway. So that is something to keep in mind. We're keeping the city nice, so not a lot of traffic there, but I'll tell you what, the Garden State Parkway and the New Jersey Turnpike tonight are pretty heavy delays. Reporting live over the Parkway, Shannon Sohn, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Shannon, don't go. Who's your pilot tonight?
We have Captain Arthur Anderson, who, by the way, was with us last night as well.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo, Captain Arthur Anderson. At some point, will you get a picture of this man? Even if it's just a little picture of his round head. We want to see him so that we can address him properly. We want to know who he is because he does fine work.
I'll tell you what, Roz, he did a great job. Captain Paul Smith even came in to relieve him for a little while on a scheduled day off. It's been just a team effort through and through, and everyone pulled through big time for us.
They sure did. Thanks to you all. Life by flashlight. It is a story repeated not only here, but all across a 600-mile swath through some of the most populated areas in our entire country. Count up the states: New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and even parts of Canada. Take a look at Detroit. The Motor City needs gas to get going, and these long lines are a testament to the number of closed gas stations yesterday. At Chicago's O'Hare Airport, people spent the night sleeping on chairs, and some of them are still stranded today in the Windy City. In Toronto, low-tech transportation, but it did get the job done. I'm talking about people putting one foot in front of the other, hoofing it to get around. There is still much more ahead on the blackout of 2003. Pointing the finger of blame, it is in high gear, but who is responsible for this disaster? We're going to take a closer look.
Business owners as well are getting hit hard. Customers turned away, goods going bad. We're going to take a look at this economic hit.
Plus, the incredible rescue of an 11-year-old girl who was stuck in an elevator for hours. We've got her story.
And later, the emergencies at the hospital, how doctors are trying to treat the onslaught of patients. Stay with us.
Chris Rock and Bernie Mac.
Oh, boy.
Oh, we're gonna laugh till it hurts.
Chris Rock's gonna be here and shake it up.
Bring him on.
I guess they ran out of celebrities.
Mondays, Oprah.
Monday at 4, right here on ABC7.
The heat is turning up on the Jeep Summer Sales Drive during the special 72-hour event, featuring incredible bonus deals on new Jeep vehicles, like no extra charge lube oil and filter changes for 3 to 7 years. And right now, very well-qualified current owners and lessees can purchase a Grand Cherokee for $299 a month with a $999 down payment. Plus, get our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty on them all. But you've got to hurry because this 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th.
From now until Monday, August 18th, the Chrysler Summer Sales Drive will be hotter than ever during our 72-hour event, featuring valuable bonus offers on select new Chrysler vehicles, like oil, lube, and filter changes for 3 to 7 years, and a choice of no monthly payments until 2004 and cash allowances up to $4,000 on select vehicles, or 0% APR financing on select models. Plus, get our 770 powertrain limited warranty. So get to your Chrysler dealer today. This exciting 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th.
On the next Wayne Brady Show, the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, then TV legend Dick Clark, and from the hit sitcom Reba, Joanna Garcia. Plus actor Corbin Burnson is here. It's all right here on the next Wayne Brady Show.
Monday at 10, right here on ABC7.
If anyone appreciates a good night's sleep, it's me. But finding the right mattress can be a full-time job. So I go with the people I know and trust. The mattress experts at Macy's. During Macy's August sale, get a Posturepedic set for $333. Save 40 to 50% plus 10% and extra dollars off Sealy, Simmons, and Spring Air mattresses. Expert advice and the right price. I've always got time for that. For the guaranteed low price, come to Macy's or call 1-800-MACY-BED.
Your Dodge dealers have added some huge extras to the great deals at the Dodge Summer Sales Drive during a special 72-hour event. Get lube, oil, and filter changes at no extra charge for 3 to 7 years. Plus your choice of cash allowances of up to $4,500 and no monthly payments until next year. Or 0% financing on select models. Plus you'll get Dodge's 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. But hurry, this 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th. See your Dodge dealer for the best values in America.
It has taken over 24 hours, but the power is slowly coming back to people living in Westchester County. Now, while these lights and all the other amenities are coming back, getting around is still a challenge. Lee Goldberg, live now in Terrytown with the latest. Lee.
Tim, we're in Tarrytown, where normally this time of day there should be a train right out there. There should be folks filing down this ramp. There should be everybody getting in taxis, but instead these taxis are just sitting still waiting for nobody. Folks waiting over there for a car ride back to Manhattan, not a train. There's an Amtrak one that went by, but no Metro North. But maybe that'll come back soon, because in Tarrytown, the power is back. The sweet sounds of AC returned to the Tarrytown train station late this afternoon. Too bad the rest of the station is so silent. It's been a frustrating day for folks trying to get in and out of Westchester.
I live in Manhattan, I work up here, and I just want to get home.
This guy just chose to take it slow and exercise patience. Maybe he didn't know you could just go up to Main Street in Tarrytown and get a good slice of pie, even without electricity.
Between 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, never stop.
Were you one of the only places open?
Yeah, I'm the only one to have a power, the Main Street.
Oh, everybody kicked in, all the local volunteer firemen, the volunteer ambulances, everyone was on the corners, directing traffic, everyone was out, a lot of barbecues going, everyone out with their beach chairs. Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun, actually. It brings everybody together when something like this happens.
New Yorkers got to stick together in a time of crisis, right? Like 9/11, we all stuck together. We got through it, right? We got through this, the blackout of 2003, we all got through it.
His sentiment echoed across the tri-state area, everybody just sticking together. Well, across northern Westchester, there are still some power problems, whereas central and southern Westchester, we're doing a lot better now. There are still some rolling reductions. They don't like to call it any rollbacks at this point, but reductions at this point. So we'll be watching it here from Westchester. I'm Lee Goldberg in Tarrytown for ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Lee. One big challenge is getting across the Hudson. This was the scene when tens of thousands of people tried to get home yesterday to New Jersey. There it is. Many did not arrive until today. Anthony Johnson was on hand to greet some of the weary travelers. He joins us from Hoboken. Anthony.
We were like, bring on the modern technology. We need some electricity, so we figure we take advantage of the New Jersey electricity.
The New Jersey economy could get a boost from the blackout because so many New Yorkers are hopping the ferries to Hoboken just to get some relief.
We have no communication. We have no water in our building. We have no electricity. It's been 24 hours of just nonstop hell, so we decided to come to Jersey and get away from it all.
It's an escape from the heat and the memories of a night in the dark.
One of the strangest things was walking by Times Square and seeing everything completely dark. But all of the Manhattan streets are dark, and for the city that never sleeps, that was interesting.
A lot of people packed up a few belongings and are planning to spend the weekend in the Garden State. They're now just waiting for a ride to get to their air-conditioned destination.
I'm in Hoboken by the path.
Jersey's got the juice, and New Yorkers want to feel the power.
There's no water because we're on the 7th floor of a building, so there's no water pressure anywhere. You can't take a shower, can't eat, can't do anything, nothing's open, can't get any cold drinks, so
Welcome to New Jersey.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Earlier today, many New Jersey residents were completing the last leg of their long journey to get back home after being stuck over in the city.
I left downtown Manhattan and walked pretty much halfway through the city, tried to get to the path, tried to get to Port Authority, basically failed at every avenue possible.
East side, you know. And that was
Anthony.
I know it's Anthony Johnson. It's just that we didn't give him a heads up. Anthony, we love you. Next time I will holler louder. I promise.
But he knew where he was. Because he was looking around.
You
I know I'm over here.
You don't.
And I know I'm over here. And ain't nobody sneaking up behind me.
You used to tease him when he was on the morning show like that.
He's laughing
still
right.
there?
He's laughing right.
Oh, no.
Wait, here we go. Watch.
No, I'm so
Anthony.
no.
Anthony.
He's going to kill us all.
That's mean.
Man.
You guys are
That is mean.
No, just hang out there sometime. You know how tough it is.
I've done it. I've stood there. And the first one you want to kill is the person who says, "Can you hear me now?"
Well, what do you say we talk a little weather?
At least we have pretty good weather. You know, the humidity is not that high. The heat index has been around 93, 94, 95, but certainly it could be a lot worse. There's been a breeze out of the northwest during the day today, and at times it has felt oppressive and uncomfortable in some of those valleys
where the temperatures got to about 93, and the heat index in central northern New Jersey and upstate has got to about 95, 98. But certainly it's not as hot as it could have been this time of the year, certainly for August. And we know what that's like. It was only 4 years ago we had 20 straight days of 90-degree weather. This, the sheep meadow. And you can see as we look across to the east side, there's lots of folks out there enjoying this hot weather, getting out of the house and enjoying what are some light breezes. Not a lot of wind out there. Here is the heat index tonight across the area. It's 90 in and around Brooklyn and Queens, 91 Morristown, 88 Newark, 85 down the shore. So certainly if you are at the beach areas, it feels a little bit better with the heat index, how it actually feels, the humidity and the temperature on human skin. 86 degrees right now, the humidity 51%. That's not bad. That's kind of dry. The barometer 30.04 and it has been falling. The winds are calm this hour. They have been light and out of the northwest for a time during the day today. Around the rest of the area, temperatures 83 out around Islip, 85 at White Plains, 93 around Morristown, 90 at Newark. Don't you wish it was 8 at Bridgeport? So right now it's 79 in Boston, 89 around LaGuardia, 90 at Philadelphia, 89 Richmond, 91 around Washington. Pollen count, good thing to note that much of the pollen count is low, but what is there is weed pollen, and if you are allergic to that, moderate to slightly allergic, you're going to notice it. Highly allergic, you're already feeling that. Tomorrow, UV index is at a 5. That's moderate. About 45 minutes, you're going to get a sunburn tomorrow, so that means we're going to have a pretty fair amount of sun tomorrow. There is a cold front in the Great Lakes, sliding eastward with some showers and thunderstorms out ahead of it. Now for the afternoon, we've had a pretty good afternoon. You can see now it's 90 around the Philadelphia area. But with this high-pressure ridge moving eastward and this cold front sliding eastward with it, we'll have some scattered showers and some thunderstorms for tomorrow. You can see that thunderstorm area now across Ohio spreading eastward. One other thing to note, this is Tropical Storm Erica. Its winds are 60 miles per hour. It's coming into the Texas coast. It's moving eastward at 23 miles per hour, very fast. So it will bring showers and thunderstorms onto the coast tonight from Brownsville northward to Corpus Christi. Might be a hurricane by tomorrow morning. Your AccuWeather forecast for tonight goes a little like this. Clear skies, warm and humid. Now tomorrow we'll have sunshine. It's going to be hot and humid. 89, going to probably feel like 95, 96 again late in the day. A thunderstorm, and there could be a thunderstorm for tomorrow night. Now some cooler weather is coming for Sunday into Monday. And let's just say worst case scenario, your power is still out. We will talk about that in the 5-day forecast coming up, but it looks like, as we get to Sunday, we drop down to about 82, and then Monday we drop down with very little in the way of humidity.
But we can update that now.
Yeah.
Con Ed is now reporting that 2.4 million, or 80% of its customers, now have electricity. So with the elect, they've got fans and air conditioning to go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you, Bill. Well, you almost hate to do it. Opening up your fridge and looking inside. The ice is melted, the milk is spoiled, and forget about that meat. Earlier today, Mayor Bloomberg warned many people to just throw out the food to avoid any possible food poisoning. Taffy Phillips joins us now with more on that. Taffy.
And many of us went hours yesterday without power in our homes and apartments. So did many restaurants. That means a lot of spoiled food. But what do you need to toss, and what may still be good? 7 is on your side with the answers.
I have some yogurt.
Kara Adelman doesn't have much in her refrigerator, but she's worried about what she does have, especially the dairy products and meat.
I got this Wednesday night.
But you're going to toss that, right?
I'm going to have to toss all this.
And Kara wasn't the only one throwing out food today. Here at the Verona Deli, the owner said he had lost over $2,000 worth. Milk sat spoiling in warm refrigerators, and mounds of perishables were piled up in the basement.
Ice cream, my salad bar, hot and cold foods, everything.
As the blackout lingered on the east side of Manhattan, restaurants were closed, from the pricey to the affordable. And here at the New York Palace Hotel, management had decided if it couldn't be saved, they might as well give the food away.
Obviously, at some point, we're going to have stocks of food that we're not going to be able to reuse, and yes, at some point, those will have to be discarded.
Food that had been discarded was piling up on curbsides today. The city says that some pickups may be delayed.
Obviously, there was a lot of trash last night left in street corners as people congregated. They will do the job that they always do, their professional job, and hopefully by the end of the day or overnight by tomorrow we'll have caught up.
So how do you decide what food to toss and what to keep? A lot depends on how long your refrigerator was without power.
Everything becomes sensitive when you get above 8 hours of temperature abuse.
And more perishable foods like poultry, fish, and dairy should be the first to go. But some produce and even some cheeses can survive hours without refrigeration.
There are dairy products that might make it without the refrigeration. Hard cheeses like a Parmesan, that would make it through the refrigeration. So would Romano. But again, the soft cheeses are not going to make it.
And a lot depends on whether the refrigerator was opened or not.
The refrigerator will probably hold temperature for somewhere close to 24 hours. But once that door has been opened and closed once or twice, all bets are off.
Now, as for frozen foods, if they are partially thawed in the freezer, it's okay to let them finish thawing and then cook them and eat them right away. But if you're not going to eat them immediately, they should go into the garbage. So, time to clean out that refrigerator.
Don't take a chance.
Don't take a chance. It's not worth it.
Good advice.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Daphne.
Pointing fingers and demanding answers. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 5:30, who is to blame for this historic blackout? Where did it all begin? We're going to take a closer look.
And working to beat the heat. Find out where you can go to find some relief.
Plus, how some hospitals are treating patients with the limited power that they have available to them.
If you have a story for the Eyewitness News investigators,
call 1-877-TIP-NEWS. That's 1-877-847-6397.
Sometimes it just feels like you're working 24/7. Better get your priorities in order. First things first, the 2003 Honda Clearance. It only happens once a year and it's gone before you know it. Get special APR financing for as low as 1.9% for up to 60 months on 2003 Civics. Life can wait. First things first.
You're watching ABC7, home of Eyewitness News, the news leader.
Everyone is fabulous. The Barney's Warehouse Sale, 50 to 80% off regular prices. August 14th through September 1st, 255 West 17th Street.
Buying an SUV? Here's one piece of advice. Yep, that's one piece. We designed Nissan Pathfinder as one single structure bound by 4,200 precision welds. If you want to find a rattle in this SUV, you better bring a baby. Get a $319 per month lease on new 2003 Nissan Pathfinders at your Nissan dealers. Strong.
To get through 4 years of college, you can order a lot of coffee to go, or you can order a lot of PC to go. Do schoolwork without being in school when you upgrade to a compact Presario with the mobile Intel Pentium 4 processor M. For only $9.99 after rebate, you get desktop power that goes where you go. So you can email photos, watch movies, burn CDs, and, oh yeah, do schoolwork. Call today and get free shipping and compact desktops from just $349. When it really matters, choose compact.
The heat is turning up on the Jeep Summer Sales Drive during the special 72-hour event, featuring incredible bonus deals on new Jeep vehicles, like no extra charge lube oil and filter changes for 3 to 7 years. And right now, very well-qualified current owners and lessees can purchase a Grand Cherokee for $299 a month with a $999 down payment. Plus, get our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty on them all. But you've got to hurry because this 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th.
And topping our news this half hour, the big mystery, who is to blame for this blackout?
The first priority is to get the lights back on, but long after the power returns, the finger pointing and the investigations will continue for months, if not years. Some say it all started in Canada, others say it started in Ohio. Jim Dolan joins us now with a closer look. Jim.
Tim, Roz, the group charged with maintaining a power supply for that area that went dark yesterday is called, ironically enough, the North American Electric Reliability Council. There is a healthy amount of finger-pointing going on among power companies today on the subject of who threw the switch that consigned 50 million people to the darkness. Ohio, Michigan, Canada. It all misses the point. Whatever started the power outage, the system is designed for it to stop there, but it didn't. In a span of 8 seconds, the great Northeast went from this to this, an instantaneous cascading blackout that shut down 22 nuclear power plants and turned off the lights for 50 million people. It didn't surprise former Energy Secretary Bill Richardson, who says America is a first world superpower with a third world power system.
It's very antiquated. We have a huge demand for electricity with computers, technology, more people, but we have not fulfilled the infrastructure needed to deal with that new demand.
There are other theories. While conventional terrorism has been ruled out, cyber terrorism, computer hacking, is still on the table.
One possible explanation, and I stress possible explanation, is that someone hacked their way in and stopped that software and hardware from working.
The man in charge of the investigation is the head of the North American Reliability Council, Michael Gent.
We will not cover anything up. We'll name names. We'll find out what happened.
We'll view this rolling blackout as a wake-up call. A wake-up call for the need to modernize our electricity delivery systems. And we'll respond.
Prevailing theory right now is that someone in the Midwest, Ohio and Michigan have been named, tried to draw power from the Northeast grid, and that started the dominoes tumbling. But again, the dominoes aren't supposed to tumble. The system is supposed to separate a problem area from the rest of the grid. Why that didn't happen, why your subway stopped, because maybe somebody in the Midwest turned on their PlayStation, well, that will be the subject of the investigation. Ross?
I'm sorry. Turned on their PlayStation. Okay, thank you very much. For many today, the challenge is how to keep cool. Some are heading to the beach despite warnings about possible problems with the water. Cheryl Fiandaca live in Corona with that story. Cheryl.
Well, Roz, Corona has had power since very early this morning, and in fact, the Lemon Ice King, this business has been here for 60 years. This man volunteered his freezer for a lot of his neighbors in the restaurants here so that they wouldn't ruin all of their food and spoil what they had in their freezer. But for a lot of people, though, this has been an extremely frustrating time. We want to let you know that we went to the beaches early this morning. We saw lots of people at the beaches. They're enjoying the beaches, but what city officials are saying is that there's a possibility that the water in those beaches could be contaminated. So they're asking people to be extremely careful. Still, many of them actually went to the beach just to sunbathe.
I'm stressed out, but what can I do? You know, I just gotta keep up with it. You know, just gotta cope with this.
Getting gas wasn't the only problem caused by the blackout. The owner of the North Shore Diner in Bayside says he lost a lot of business and plenty of food.
In the morning, when we take here to throw everything out, start to make new stuff, you know. What are we going to do? That happened.
While some people were working, others were coping with the heat by escaping to the beach, but were told by the Parks Department to stay out of the water.
It has to be done. We had no power, so, I mean, it's technically unsafe. So we just have to deal with it for a while, that's all.
Many, though, on Coney Island and Orchard Beach didn't heed the advice. Health officials are testing the water, concerned that two of the city's sewage treatment plants dumped raw sewage into the East River, which may have contaminated the beaches. Despite all the problems caused by the blackout, most New Yorkers took the adversity in stride.
Hopefully the air conditioning's on. I can take a bath with the lights on tonight.
Well, we want to make one point about the beaches. City officials say it's going to take them between 12 and 18 hours to actually test the samples that they took. Until then, they are asking everyone to stay out of the water. It could be a significant health hazard. We're live in Corona. I'm Cheryl Fiandaca, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Cheryl. Wall Street prevailed through the blackout and opened on time this morning. To find out how the day went, Gigi Stone joins us from the newsroom. Gigi.
Well, Roz, it was a quiet day on Wall Street, but for the most part, it was business as usual. Now, the major markets opened on time. Trading was delayed a bit at the American Stock Exchange because of some power problems, but everything did go like clockwork at the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, where Mayor Bloomberg himself rang the opening bell. It was almost a symbolic gesture that at least financially the city was not interrupted. Now, basically on Wall Street, share prices showed very little movement. It was an unusually quiet session and volume was very light. Let's take a look at those closing numbers. We do have the Dow up just about 11 points, and pretty much everything else was flat. Now, the power outage put a dent in the automotive industry. More than 35 assembly and other plants operated by General Motors and Ford were unable to operate operate today because of the blackout. And then some factories owned by Chrysler and Honda couldn't function either. Too soon to tell what the economic impact of that will be. For Eyewitness News, I'm Gigi Stone. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Gigi. We're back in a moment. Stay with us.
The heat is turning up on the Jeep Summer Sales Drive during the special 72-hour event, featuring incredible bonus deals on new Jeep vehicles, like no extra charge lube oil and filter changes for 3 to 7 years. And right now, very well-qualified buyers can purchase a Liberty for $259 a month with a $999 down payment. Plus, get our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty on them all. But you've got to hurry, because this 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th.
Your Dodge dealers have added some huge extras to the great deals at the Dodge Summer Sales Drive during a special 72-hour event. Get lube, oil, and filter changes at no extra charge for 3 to 7 years. Plus, your choice of cash allowances of up to $4,500 and no monthly payments until next year. Or 0% financing on select models. Plus, you'll get Dodge's 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. But hurry, this 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th. See your Dodge dealer for the best values in America.
Closed captioning provided by your Lexus dealers.
If you suffer from acid reflux disease and the cost for your monthly prescription copay is burning a hole in your wallet, call this number for a special offer.
I need more money.
For what?
Your prescription copay.
Oh, no, that's crazy.
Well, the pharmacist told me about prescription generic omeprazole. He says most people save $10 to $25 each time.
Well, how do I get that?
You have to ask your doctor.
I'll do that right now. Over 2 million people have already taken prescription generic omeprazole. So call or visit our website and get your $10 rebate. Then ask your doctor if generic omeprazole is an option for your acid reflux disease.
Omeprazole may not be an option for everyone. The most frequent reported side effects with generic omeprazole are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Symptomatic relief does not rule out serious stomach conditions.
Well, the doctor said, okay, we're going to save a lot of money.
I feel better already. Call now or visit our website for your $10 rebate and more information on generic omeprazole.
We have more good news about the power coming back on. Kimberly Richardson is live in the Bronx, where more lights just came on. Kimberly.
Roz, it happened about a half hour ago, and these folks out here, they're resilient because they passed the 24-hour mark without any power. We're in the High Bridge section of the Bronx. And here's some folks who are out here enjoying themselves. They all live in the community here. They all know each other. Your name, sir?
My name is Amar Hunt. Peace.
Amar, what was it like for you guys the last 24 hours? And tell me, how did you guys all kind of come together as a community and help each other out?
Well, we've known each other for a long time, so we stayed out last night. Some of us was on a picnic. When we came back, the lights was out. So instead of going upstairs, we spent most of the evening to the late hours out here. We had a grill out. Played a little card, pretty much like we're doing now.
Okay, and also there was a situation out here where there was no, of course, electricity in the buildings. So tell me, what did you do yesterday to help people get in and out of the building?
Oh, I was letting them in and out the building because that door is automatically and it has you have to push the bells to get in. So I was letting them my keys so they could get in and out the building. We sat here mostly all night long till early this morning.
You glad you guys all came together and got through this?
Yeah, we finally act like a community out here, you know what I mean? And the lights just came. We was the last ones to get lights, so, you know, and we still out here grilling on our little grills and stuff, but we're doing all right.
This is definitely an example of one of those communities where, as they said, everybody came together, they helped each other out, and they have the grill going right now. Actually, they had a grill by candlelight last night. They're going to do it again tonight. The kids have been playing in the fire hydrant down the block. They're not supposed to do that, but they were hot, so they jumped in there. But again, a community just having a good time, coming together, supporting themselves. We're live in the High Bridge section of the Bronx. Kimberly Richardson, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks so much, Kimberly. Yes, coming together and making the best of a bad situation. Now, this blackout could not have come at a worse time for many businesses. The economy is already down, and now this. Liz Cho joins us with more on that. Liz.
Well, Tim and Roz, the official numbers are obviously not in yet, but there is no doubt that the financial impact is expected to be no less than staggering.
Today at a Harlem deli, Moji Al-Mooney is reeling from his losses after throwing away hundreds of dollars of food that's spoiled since yesterday.
I lose a lot of stuff. You know, the milk, we lose the milk, we lost a lot of meat, a lot of sandwiches, no bread, no surface, no nothing.
Despite getting power back, many stores throughout the city remain closed. However, some restaurants were busy, and some of those back at work just relieved at how well things had gone.
I'm very happy that everything came out very smooth from last side.
And while the west side bustled with people, it was a different world on the Upper East Side, where power remained shut off through much of the afternoon. Store after store stayed shuttered, while some toughed it out.
We're just waiting for power. You know, the power comes on, then we're going to start working. Otherwise, we don't know what to do.
There will, of course, be much more loss than profit. But one business came out in the black despite a slump today.
Yesterday was very good. It was actually a business boom yesterday. We were one of the few places open, so.
And while business owners could only hope the power would quickly return, we found one woman who only had to count on muscle power to make a profit.
Good, make a lot today. Everybody wanted something like this: coconut, mango, cherry, rainbow, lemon lime.
Well, aside from some financial assistance from the federal and state funds, some business owners may also consider legal action against the utility companies. And what many of them learned after the 1977 blackout is that the plaintiffs face enormous hurdles. What they need to prove is willful misconduct or gross negligence by the utility companies. And Tim and Roz, that can be very difficult to prove.
It was back then, too. Very much so.
Exactly.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be right back with an incredible elevator rescue.
It's all about value, selection, and money with low monthly payments and zero down payments. Now get a 2003 Chevy Trailblazer LS 4x4 with Smart Buy financing for around $329 a month. Call for residency restrictions and other details. Chevy Trailblazer with unsurpassed standard horsepower in its class, because money's what it's all about. See your local Chevy dealer today.
The New York Lotto jackpot is now $23 million. That's $23 million. Good night, New York!
Wow. You're watching ABC7, home of Eyewitness News, the news leader.
Now at KFC, get a big 8-piece meal for only $14.99. And you get 8 pieces of chicken, large mashed potatoes with gravy, large coleslaw, and 4 biscuits. Plus, KFC will give you a second large order of mashed potatoes and gravy absolutely free. Save now at KFC.
It's clearance time on an incredible selection of Toyota SUVs. The time is now for 0% financing on the smooth-riding Highlander. Or lease Highlander for just $249 a month. It's also the perfect time for Sequoia, with room for 8 and $1,000 in cash back savings. Toyota Time. The time is now.
From now until Monday, August 18th, the Chrysler Summer Sales Drive will be hotter than ever during our 72-hour event, featuring valuable bonus offers on select new Chrysler vehicles, like oil, lube, and filter changes for 3 to 7 years, and a choice of no monthly payments until 2004 and cash allowances up to $4,000 on select vehicles, or 0% APR financing on select models. Plus, get our 770 powertrain limited warranty. So get to your Chrysler dealer today. This exciting 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th.
As we get closer and closer to figuring out the culprit for the blackout, you said yesterday when there were all these stories on the wire about a lightning strike in Niagara or a lightning strike in Ohio, Ontario, you said there was no lightning. How did you know with such certainty?
We have this weather radars and we have archival information. We can see radars from weeks past.
In Ohio?
All over the country.
In Lansing, Michigan?
In Quebec.
I'll be darned. Well, he knew.
Yeah, and you know what? Jim Dolan scared me so much, I called and made the kids get off the PlayStation.
PlayStation!
The twins are on the PlayStation. I was like, cut it off now! All right, we don't want anybody else to be without power. Here's what's going on around the area. Tonight, we do have a pretty nice evening coming our way. It's still a little bit on the hot side as we look across Central Park to the east side. A lot of folks there enjoying some of this weather, or at least enjoying being outdoors away from the hot indoors there at the Sheep Meadow in Central Park. Here is the heat index this hour now. We've updated it just to show you. Feels like 91 around Brooklyn, Queens. Feels like 90 around Newark, 96 Morristown. These inland valleys in here. You get into northern New Jersey, Passaic, Bergen County, through these Ramapo Mountains, and on even into the Catskills. A lot of that wind is just kind of cut off, and the air becomes very still. It gets very hot and humid as well. The best place to be, you can see the beaches where it feels like 86 on Long Island, 87 down the Jersey Shore. Now tonight, we're watching a cold front advancing eastward, and there happens to be some lightning in a few of these thunderstorms from the Detroit area across Cleveland, Toledo, and down all the way down towards Cincinnati. Now, that's thunderstorms in advance of a cold front that is spreading eastward, so we're keeping an eye on those. They will get to us by tomorrow evening, and we'll have maybe some lightning here. Now, there is a cold front across the northern portion of the country, and that's, as I mentioned, this little wave of low pressure out ahead of it is responsible for these thunderstorms. This front will get to us tomorrow night and into Sunday morning. Certainly will bring some cooler air out of Canada across the area for Sunday into Monday. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Erica is coming onto the Texas coast by tomorrow morning. After midnight tonight, and we were showing you that there's some pretty good thunderstorms with that system just off the Texas coast. Big waves coming on shore now from Corpus Christi, Longview, all the way down to Brownsville, Texas, and then further south from Ixtapa, Mexico, across and down toward the Bay of Campeche. So that will be a storm that might become a hurricane tonight into tomorrow. One thing's for certain, it's warm and sticky tonight, and then tomorrow it's going to be hazy, hot, and humid, and late in the day we'll have a couple of thunderstorms. Your 5-day forecast. Here's how it shapes up for the weekend. We'll have sunshine on Sunday, a mixture of sun and clouds, and much cooler. We'll be around 82, and then Monday and next week look awesome. 80 on Monday and low humidity, 84 on Tuesday and on Wednesday. Wow. That looks good. We get by tomorrow. As we say in the weather department, we'll be sitting in the saddle.
Honey, we'll be saddle up.
Thank
you, sir. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. The blackout stranded many people in many different places, on the subway, in offices, in hotels, even on the trains. But for 11-year-old Lulu Evans, 3 frightening hours were spent in a darkened elevator waiting to be rescued. It had been another day at summer camp, and Lulu Evans was heading up to her apartment. At the elevator, given no warning at all, she pushed the button for the 10th floor.
I got on the elevator and the lights were dimming.
Up it went, and just seconds away from her floor, it suddenly jerked to a stop between 9 and 10.
The lights went off and the emergency light went on.
You had to be scared.
I was.
What did you do?
I pressed the fire alarm button.
After building workers were unable to open the door, neighbors then ran to this nearby firehouse for help.
I was terrified. I ran upstairs and I started speaking to her in the elevator.
Lulu's mom, Wendy, couldn't race up the 10 floors fast enough and then began asking her all kinds of questions.
Do you have a book? Can you see, is there any light? I was relieved that she had some light in there.
Firemen finally broke open the door, creating a small opening at the bottom.
It was like right here where it was cut, and then I was down there. When I went to the back of the elevator, I jumped.
A fireman grabbed her, but to get her out the rest of the way...
He said, I'm going to give you a wedgie, so he did, and he pulled me out.
We didn't have the elevator keys and things like that, so we basically just had to force the door off, and we got her out.
I think the story goes that she burst into tears. In fact, I was the one that burst into tears. She was smiling.
And now Lulu can tell her friend Sophie Parks all about her wild adventure.
So it was kind of cool, but it was also really scary.
Yes, New Yorkers once again coming to the rescue last night, and Lulu earning her stripes as a tough New Yorker.
She's a Lulu, all right. I like that little girl. Hospitals went into the crisis mode as soon as the lights went out.
Dr. Jay Adlersberg now joins us with how the medical centers have been dealing with it. Jay?
Tim and Roz, the medical centers actually coped quite well right across the city. The problem was power, and the hospitals have, by law, 3 days' worth of an alternative source of energy. This is the lifeblood of a hospital in a power emergency, the diesel oil fuel that keeps electrical generators turning, pumping energy to run Jacobi Hospital's vital services, its ERs, operating rooms, and ICUs. Surgeries went on there yesterday without a hitch.
We had 2 people in the delivery room, and over this period of time, 3 babies were born here at Jacobi. I think they'll remember their birthdays for a long, long time.
Some emergency rooms reported double the usual number of hospital admissions, mostly heat problems in the elderly who had other medical illness such as heart or lung disease. Other admissions were for asthma, breathing problems, and anxiety. The lights dimmed for just a moment here at Jacoby Medical Center yesterday afternoon, just enough to let doctors know that they were on generator power. As far as patient flow into the ER today, doctors say it was like a busy Saturday night. Some people coming in because of staying too long in overheated apartments, some people coming in for fractures, falling down unlit flights of stairs. ER specialists here were somewhat relieved.
We were kind of expecting the worst, and we're quite pleased with how it went.
For Coney Island Hospital, things didn't go as well today. The center lost power again for 2 hours at 11 this morning and went on generator power. 16 patients receiving critical care, however, did well. Here at Montefiore Medical Center, staff noticed no evidence of the blackout yesterday because this massive generator in the hospital's basement seamlessly went online. It makes its own electricity. Officials here say it's the only hospital in New York that doesn't depend on Con Ed. And at Roosevelt Hospital, some special arrangements.
We pay a lot of attention to our labor and delivery suite. We made sure that the expectant fathers can get up there. Even if we're at low elevator capacity, we made sure that group of 10 or 12 fathers got up there to experience this because it's a once in a lifetime.
That was Dr. Richard Daines of Roosevelt Hospital. Though hospitals were not overwhelmed by physical emergencies, what may be more difficult to assess are the psychological and emotional reactions to this event. They may surface over the next few weeks and months. Tim and Ross.
A lot of precautions taken. Yeah. Thanks so much, Jay. That'll do it for the 5 o'clock edition of Eyewitness News.
I want you to have a good weekend. You've earned it.
You too.
I will. I definitely will. The news continues now with Liz Cho and Bill Ritter.
All right, thanks, Roz and Tim, and enjoy your weekends. Coming up next at 6 o'clock, the power slowly returning, but millions of people still struggling to get through without power on this very hot Friday.
And the subway trains, hundreds of them still stranded on their tracks. When will they roll again?
Some people trying to stay cool at the beach by jumping into the water, but that may not be the best idea.
And some stranded commuters literally waking up in a city park today looking for ways to get home.
Complete coverage of the blackout of 2003 starts just right now, and we're expecting live news conference from Mayor Bloomberg next on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock.
The technology behind video phones, streamlined lending, and wireless in the utility sector. Sunday morning at 10:30 on ABC 7.
Is turning up on the Jeep Summer Sales Drive during the special 72-hour event, featuring incredible bonus deals on new Jeep vehicles, like no extra charge lube oil and filter changes for 3 to 7 years. And right now, very well qualified current owners and lessees can purchase a Grand Cherokee for $299 a month with a $999 down payment. Plus, get our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty on them all. But you've got to hurry because this 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th.
Sure, all these OTC and prescription allergy medicines are approved for pollen, but some are not approved for pet dander and dust. Others are not approved for smoke. Only Flonase is approved to relieve the nasal symptoms from all these triggers. For best results, use daily. Side effects are generally mild and may include headache, nosebleed, and sore throat. Ask your doctor about Flonase. For all these triggers, all it takes is Flonase.
What Wheel of Fortune, tonight at 7:30, right here on ABC 7.
Time and temperature from Commerce Bank.
This is the news leader, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Tonight, the blackout of 2003 and trying to recover from it. Stranded commuters trying to get in and out of New York City because most of mass transit remains off track. Subway cars are still stuck right where they were this time last night when the blackout began. Good Friday evening to you. I'm Bill Ritter.
And I'm Liz Cho. We want to give you the latest right now on the power situation. Con Ed says power has been restored to nearly 2.5 million customers here in New York City. That leaves 700,000 without power at this hour. LIPA says 40,000 customers on Long Island are without power and that they are hoping to have everyone back online by tonight. And in New Jersey, PSE&G says 99% of its customers have power.
And now to the latest on transportation. New York City subway trains are still not running at this hour. It could be, in fact, tomorrow before they are up and running. The LIRR has limited service and PATH trains are running. We're waiting for a briefing from Mayor Bloomberg, who will perhaps have a timetable when things will get up. We'll carry his remarks live for you. Meanwhile, driving around the city today, well, it was a challenge. The lights that weren't working were still not in the right sequence, and that slowed things down. And with so many businesses and companies closed, lots of people simply took the day off. Many of them hit the beaches, even though Mayor Bloomberg warned people not to wade or swim in the water because of the raw sewage that may be out there. More fallout from the blackout. We begin our coverage tonight with Sarah Wallace. She is on the Upper West Side for us. Sarah?
And Bill, the question that we're being asked over and over, when is my power coming back on? Especially those who've come over from the east side. They're very frustrated. Everybody needs to know that the power companies, the utility companies, are doing their very best to try and overcome a situation that was beyond their control that's overwhelming. But the governors of the tri-state area want to make sure that this does not happen again. So they are demanding...
The good news is that we've made an enormous amount of progress at restoring power, and at this point in time, something over 85% of the city now has full power. And there are a few neighborhoods that still don't, and hopefully will be back by early evening or sometime this evening. All of the Bronx, all of Queens, and all of Staten Island has power. There are some neighborhoods in Manhattan, Chelsea, Kips Bay, Cooper Square, Madison Square, Greeley Square, and over by Penn Station that do not have power yet. Yorkville, where I live, just came back, so that was a big part of the Upper East Side. In Brooklyn, only one neighborhood, Flatbush, does not have power. So we are getting there, and I'm happy to report that tonight all 23 Broadway shows are going to be open. The Mets game at Shea Stadium is going to be played tonight. It's been a long time since the Mets were on this kind of a streak, 2 in a row. Let's hope they can make it 3. We told Con Ed they had to have the power back for that. Subway service not restored yet. Once you get the power back, it is going to take them 8 or 9 hours, they estimate. So sometime early in the morning, but certainly the weekend schedule should be back to normal. To those people that still don't have power, and I hope there's very few and maybe none, but common sense prevails, I hope. It is a warm weekend. It is a warm night. Loose clothing, open windows, conserve energy. Drink lots of water. Check in on your loved ones, particularly the elderly. Make sure your pets have plenty of water. If you have any questions, don't use 911. Use 311. That's what it's there for, and it will. We think you can find most of the information you want. Perishable foods. We've been out of power for a long time in some neighborhoods, and some of these foods just don't keep. So as a good rule, our commissioner for the Department of Health has, when in doubt, throw it out. It's expensive to throw out food, but you really can get very sick or worse by eating food that has spoiled. So it's better to be safe than sorry. Restaurants, we hope they'll all be as careful as we want people to be at home. They've just got to check their food and make sure that their stuff has not been contaminated or started to rot. The state health inspectors are working with food retailers, and we want to make sure the meat, dairy products, cooked vegetables, fresh cut fruits, make sure that it has not spoiled. The city's water supply is more than efficient. Some people have been out of water in high-rise buildings. That's because the water gets pumped up and the pumps run on electricity that's pumped up to tanks on the roof, and then gravity brings it down with electricity coming back